She was mid-sweep when a voice cut through the dust. "Don't drop the broom." It wasn't loud, just sharp enough to split her focus. She kept moving, bristles dragging over concrete, pretending she hadn't heard. The voice came again, closer. "I said don't." She stopped. Not because she wanted to, but because her hands were shaking and the broom handle felt slick. She didn't turn. She said, "You don't get to tell me anything." He answered fast. "I do if you're bleeding." "I'm not." "Your knuckles are." She looked down then, saw the red she'd smeared across the wood without knowing. She wiped her hand on her jeans. "Go away." "I work here." "No you don't." "I cook." "This place doesn't have a cook." "It does now." She finally turned. He stood a few steps back, hands open, apron still tied wrong like he'd never worn one long. He wasn't smiling. He wasn't sorry either. Just watching her hands. "You been sweeping long?" "Long enough." "You live here?" "No, then why are you alone?" "I'm not." "You are right now." She lifted the broom again. "Move." He didn't. "You're hurt." "I've been worse." "That's not an answer." "It's the only one you get." He glanced past her, toward the fence line, like he was counting something that wasn't there. She followed his eyes and felt the cold settle before she saw it. A truck idled by the gate, engine low, patient. She said, "Don't look at them." He said, "They looking already." "They always do." "You know them?" "Everyone does." The truck didn't move. Dust hovered around the tires like it was waiting for a signal. He stepped half a pace closer. "Not touching." "You should sit." "I should finish." "Your hands are shaking." "They stop when I keep moving." "That's not stopping." She swallowed. "You done talking?" "No, then you should be." He nodded once, like he'd expected that. "I'm making food." "I didn't ask." "You didn't eat." "You don't know that." "I can tell." She laughed, short and dry. "You can tell everything?" "Enough." The truck revved, just a little. Her back stiffened. She kept sweeping. He said, "You don't have to do this." "This is how I stay." "Stay what?" "Here." "That truck yours?" "No, you sure?" She stopped again. "You always ask questions like that?" "Only when someone's in trouble." "I'm not." "You're bleeding." "Stop saying that." He lowered his voice. "They come often?" She didn't answer. He waited. The engine idled. The fence creaked. She said, "Don't make it worse." "I'm not the one parked." "You standing here is enough." "I'm already here." "Then don't add to it." He took a step back, palms still open. "Fine." Silence stretched. The broom scraped. The truck stayed. He said, softer, "You shouldn't be sweeping alone." "I always am." "That's not safe." "It's safer than sleeping." He caught that, held it without pushing. "You sleep here?" "Sometimes." "Why?" "Because I can hear them coming." "Hear who?" "The ones who don't knock." "Like them." She didn't answer. The truck's engine cut for a second, then hummed back. She flinched. He noticed. She hated that he noticed. "You don't have to explain." "I didn't." "I'm still cooking." "Do what you want." "You hungry?" "No, you're lying." "So are you." He smiled then, just a corner. "About what?" "About this being your job." It is. No one hires cooks here. They hire quiet ones. She glanced at him. You quiet? Not today. She shook her head. You're making this bad. I'm making eggs. You should leave. After they do. The truck's window rolled down an inch. Nothing came out. The fence post creaked again. Her grip tightened. Blood darkened the wood. She tried to steady her breath. He noticed that too. You breathe like you're counting. I am. To what? To not running. You could. I won't. Why? Because this is mine. Is it? It's all I have. He nodded, slow. Then I'll stand. She whispered, don't. He said, I won't. They don't like witnesses. I don't like bullies. You don't know what they are. I know what they do. They remember. So do I. She finally faced him fully. You should be scared. I am. You don't look it. I learned not to. From who? From places like this. He added, and from watching good people get told to keep their heads down. She said, that never saved them. He said, no. It just made it quieter. The air felt thin. The yard felt smaller. Even the broom seemed too loud in her hands. She wished for the first time that someone else would move first. Her heart hammered once, hard, like it was calling a decision she had never been allowed to make. She held her ground anyway. Her feet stayed planted. She did not look away. The truck door handle clicked. The engine went quiet. The door opened. The truck door stayed open longer than it needed to. No boots hit the ground. No voice followed. Just the open door breathing heat into the yard. She didn't move. Neither did he. The broom rested against her thigh, useless now. The cook said, don't look. She didn't. She stared straight ahead like she was waiting for a sentence to end. Seconds dragged. Then the door shut. The engine started. The truck rolled back slow, tires crunching gravel like they wanted to be remembered. It stopped once at the fence. Then it turned and disappeared down the dirt road. Dust hung in the air long after it was gone. She let out a breath she didn't know she'd been holding. Her knees buckled just enough to scare her. He caught her elbow. She jerked away. Don't. He stepped back at once. I'm sorry. Don't touch me. Okay. Silence settled again, heavier now. The danger had left, but it left something behind. They come back, he asked. She didn't answer right away. She bent and picked up the broom, leaned on it like it might hold her upright. They always do. When? When they want to remember I'm still here. Why? She laughed once. No humor in it. Because they can. He nodded like that made sense, which bothered her more than if he'd argued. He said, you should sit. No, you almost fell. I didn't. You will. I'm fine. You're not. She tightened her grip. Stop telling me what I am. Then tell me yourself. She met his eyes. I'm standing. Barely. That's enough. He took a step toward the door. I'm cooking. I said I'm not hungry. You said that already. Then listen. I am. No, you're not. He paused, hand on the knob. You clean this place alone. Yes. You sleep here. Sometimes. You bleed on the tools. They heal. They reopen. That's life. That's exhaustion. She turned away. Go cook. He did. She heard the pan hit the stove. Oil poured. A match struck. The sound of normal things felt wrong in the quiet that followed fear. She stayed where she was, broom still in hand, like if she moved the whole place might shift under her feet. He called from inside, "You sure you don't want to sit?" "I'm sure." "There's a chair." "I know." "Use it." No, he didn't answer. The pan sizzled. The smell of eggs drifted out. Her stomach twisted against her will. She hated that too. He came back to the doorway, spatula in hand. "You clean because it's safer than sleeping." She froze. "You don't know that." "You said it." "I didn't mean for you to hear." "I did." "Then forget it." "I can't." She turned, sharp. "You don't get to keep things from me." "I'm not trying to." "Then stop looking at me like that." "Like what?" "Like you see it." "I do." "Then you know enough." "I don't." "You don't need more." He leaned against the doorframe. "Why is sleeping worse?" She shook her head. "Drop it." "They watch." She stiffened. He kept his voice steady. "You said they don't touch you anymore." "I didn't say that." "You implied it." "You hear too much." "I hear what people avoid." "That's dangerous." "So is silence." She stared at the dirt. "They stand outside." "At night." "Sometimes." "And you stay awake." "I clean." "Until morning." "Yes." "That's not living." "It's surviving." "It's barely that." She took a step back, like she'd been pushed. "Why do you care?" "Because I'm here." "That's not an answer." "It's the only honest one." He set a plate on the step. Didn't bring it to her. Didn't force it. Just left it there. "You don't have to eat it." "I won't." "Okay." Silence again. The eggs cooled. The sun climbed. The yard felt too open now, like there was nowhere to hide. She finally said, "You should leave before they see you again." "They already did." "That makes it worse." "For who?" "For me." "You're already on their list." "You don't know that." "That truck didn't idle for nothing." She closed her eyes. "They know my name." "Who?" "The men who decide things." "Like the sheriff." She flinched. He didn't say the name again. "You don't say it." "People don't." "Why?" "Because he hears even when he's not around." "That's not possible." "It is here." He exhaled. "You shouldn't be alone." "I don't get a choice." "You do right now." "What choice?" "Sit." She looked at the chair by the wall. It felt like a trap. It felt like rest. Her legs shook again. She hated herself for it. She lowered herself slowly, like she was surrendering ground inch by inch. The broom slid from her hands and hit the floor. The sound echoed louder than it should have. She stayed seated. He watched, careful not to smile. The first thing she'd given up in years was standing. He didn't say anything when she sat. He just turned back inside and finished cooking like the moment hadn't shifted the ground under both of them. The pan scraped. The stove clicked off. He brought the plate closer this time and set it on the small table beside her knee. She didn't reach for it. Her hands rested in her lap, knuckles raw, fingers stiff. He said, "It'll get cold." She said, "So will I." He shrugged. Happens. She watched him move around the kitchen doorway, opening cabinets that looked like they hadn't been touched in years. Dust lifted with every hinge. You really work here, she said. Yes. Since when? Couple weeks. No one told me. They don't tell you things. They don't tell anyone. They tell the ones who matter. She glanced up. You think you matter. I cook. That wasn't the question. He met her eyes. Not to them. That answer settled between them like truth usually does. Heavy. Uncomfortable. Hard to move around. She finally picked up the fork. Took one bite. Stopped. Her throat tightened before she could stop it. She swallowed anyway. It's good, she said, like that was safer than saying anything else. I know. You always this sure. Only about food. She took another bite, slower. Her shoulders dropped a fraction. He noticed and looked away, giving her the privacy she hadn't asked for. You don't talk much, she said. I listen. That's worse. Sometimes. She ate in silence for a minute. The normal act felt strange, like she was borrowing someone else's morning. You ever think about leaving? He asked. She froze. Fork midair. Every day. Then why don't you? Because they'd follow. Who? The ones who remember. What they remember. She put the fork down. What burned here? He waited. She didn't fill the space right away. The quiet stretched, not empty, but crowded with things she hadn't said in years. My sister worked this ranch, she said finally. Before me. What happened? They said it was an accident. Was it? She laughed, short and bitter. Nothing accidental leaves marks like that. What marks? The kind no one writes down. He nodded. Didn't push. Old families own this valley, she went on. They decide what's an accident and what's a warning. And the law moves slow when it moves at all. She glanced toward the wall just inside the kitchen. A badge hung there, dull, forgotten, catching a thin slice of light. That yours? She asked. No, why is it here? Someone left it. Who? He hesitated. A man who didn't want to wear it anymore. Because he was tired. Because he was told to be quiet. Her eyes sharpened. You know about that. I know about staying quiet when you shouldn't. You did that. Once. About her. About a lot of things. Silence again. The badge seemed louder now, like it was listening. They told you not to talk, she said. They told everyone. And you listened. I did. Why? He rubbed his hands together. Because I was scared. Of them. Of what happens when you don't belong. She nodded. That's how they keep it clean. Clean. No mess. No noise. She stood abruptly, chair scraping. He tensed but didn't move. She walked to the badge and lifted it off the hook. It felt heavier than it looked. This thing watched her die, she said. It watched me too. It didn't, he said quietly. The men wearing it did. She turned. You scared of them? He didn't answer right away. He set his hands on the counter like he needed something solid. Yes, he said. I am. She watched him for a long second. Then why are you still standing here? Because fear doesn't decide everything. It decides enough. Not tonight. She shook her head. You don't know what tonight is. I know what leaving looks like. Then do it. I won't. You're not brave. I didn't say I was. You're not strong. I didn't say that either. Then what are you? I'm tired of walking away. The words landed heavier than he expected. She looked at him like she was weighing something fragile. You should stay tonight, she said, then corrected herself. No. You shouldn't. I will. That wasn't an invitation. It was a warning. I'm not asking for help. I'm not offering charity. Then what? Company. Night crept in without asking permission. The light shifted from yellow to gray to nothing at all. Neither of them moved to mark the change. He cooked again, simple, quiet. She sat at the table, badge in her hand, thumb rubbing the edge like it might cut her. You hear that? She asked. Wind, he said. Sometimes. Sometimes footsteps. Sometimes memory. She nodded. That's worse. Which one? Not knowing. The boards outside creaked. She stiffened. He stayed where he was. They won't come now, he said. How do you know? They like daylight. They like watching. They already did. Silence pressed in. She said, They don't touch me anymore. He didn't answer. You hear that, she said. I hear what you're not saying. They stand there. All night. Yes. Why? Because it reminds me who I belong to. You don't belong to them. They think I do. They're wrong. She laughed softly. That doesn't stop them. No, he said. But it changes things. How? It makes them nervous. She looked up. You think you make them nervous? I think men like that don't like witnesses. You already said that. It's still true. The house settled, old wood adjusting to dark. She said, If you stay, they'll know. They already do. They'll punish me. They already have. It can get worse. It can also stop. She stared at the floor. Nothing stops here. It can. How? When someone refuses to leave. She closed her eyes. You don't understand. Then tell me. They don't want me gone. What do they want? They want me tired. Why? Because tired people don't talk. He nodded. Sleep here, he said. I can't. I'll stay awake. You don't have to. I do. Why? Because you shouldn't be alone. She swallowed. I've been alone a long time. Not tonight. You can't promise that. I can stay. She looked at him like she might break if she kept looking. You ever stay somewhere you shouldn't? She asked. More than once. What happened? I learned when to stand. And when not to. And when it didn't matter. A sound came from outside. Not loud. Just enough. She froze. Did you hear that? Yes. What was it? Could be wind. Could be them. He stepped closer, careful. Sit back. I am sitting. Breathe. Don't tell me that. Okay. They listened. Nothing followed. Her shoulders dropped, just a little. You ever wish the house would forget? She asked. I wish people would. They don't. No, they remember what suits them. Another sound. This time closer. She stood. That's not wind. He didn't move. I'll check. No, I won't open anything. You don't understand. I do. He stayed where he was. The sound stopped. The quiet rang. Her voice shook. I can't do this. You are. I mean tomorrow. Tomorrow isn't here yet. A knock came from the door. Soft. Almost polite. She turned pale. He listened. The knock didn't come again. He waited. Nothing. That wasn't real, she whispered. Maybe not. Or maybe it was. He met her eyes. I'm staying. Morning came without relief. The light slipped through the windows like it was checking first. She was already awake, sitting at the table, hands wrapped around a cold cup. He stood at the sink, not washing anything, just listening to the house breathe. Neither mentioned the night. The fear hadn't left. It had only changed shape. She said, "You should go before they see you again." He said, "They know where I am." She said, "That doesn't make it better." He said, "It makes it honest." A car rolled up slow outside. Not the truck from before. Smaller. Cleaner. Tires stopped just short of the porch. She felt it before she heard the knock. 3 taps. Come. Certain. She whispered, "Don't answer." He was already moving. I will. You don't have to. I do. He opened the door. The woman on the porch smiled like she was there for coffee. Hair neat. Dress pressed. Shoes too clean for the dirt. "Morning," she said. "Morning," he answered. "Is she here?" He didn't step aside. "Who?" The smile didn't falter. "You know who." The woman behind him stood slowly. The visitor's eyes slid past him and locked on her. "There you are," she said. "It's been a while." The woman in the house said nothing. Her throat felt sealed. "You look thin," the visitor went on. "Still working too hard." Silence answered. The visitor sighed softly. "May I come in?" He said, "No." The smile tightened. "I wasn't asking you." He didn't move. "You must be the cook," she said. "That's right. My husband mentioned you." "Did he?" "Briefly." She leaned closer, voice still kind. "He worries about this place. He said, you should leave." She laughed lightly. "You're protective." "I'm present." Her eyes flicked to his hand, resting near the woman's wrist. Something cold passed through her gaze. "I won't stay," she said. "I just wanted to check on her." "She's fine." "That's not what I asked." The woman finally spoke. "You should go." The visitor's smile returned, softer now. "You used to be nicer." "I used to be quieter." The visitor nodded. "We all change after accidents." The word hung there. Heavy. Deliberate. "You don't say her name," the woman said. The visitor tilted her head. "Why would I?" "Because you know it." "Of course I do." She said the name then. Clear. Careful. It felt like a hand closing around her chest. He tightened his grip without realizing it. The visitor noticed. "You don't belong here," she said to him. "Neither do you." "I very much do." "Then act like it and leave." The smile thinned again. "You've made a mistake," she said softly. "Standing between old business." He answered, "I'm not between anything." "You're exactly where you shouldn't be." She turned to the woman. "We were patient." Silence. "We let you stay." Silence. We thought grief would finish you. The woman's voice shook but held. You were wrong. The visitor studied her. You were meant to disappear. The words landed like a verdict. He stepped closer. That's enough. The visitor looked at his hand on the woman's wrist. Really looked. Something shifted. Not anger. Calculation. Interesting, she said. You've found yourself a guardian. The woman pulled her hand free. I found myself. The visitor laughed once. We'll see. She stepped back off the porch. My husband doesn't like surprises. Neither do we, he said. She paused at the car. Enjoy your morning, she said. They don't last long here. She drove away without looking back. Dust followed her down the road. The house felt smaller after she left. The woman sank into the chair. Her hands shook. He crouched in front of her. Are you okay? She said my name. I know. She never says it. She wanted you to hear it. She wanted me to remember. You already do. She looked at him. They planned it. Planned what? My sister. Silence filled the space where denial used to live. He nodded once. I know. Her eyes widened. You know. I knew then. And you stayed quiet. Yes. Why? Because I was told. By who? He looked at the door. By the man she married. Her breath hitched. The sheriff. He didn't say it. He didn't have to. She stood, steadier now. They don't want me gone, she said. They want me erased. He stood with her. They won't get that. She looked at his hand, still near hers. They noticed. Let them. Outside, the sound of another engine drifted in the distance. Not close yet. But coming. The engine sound grew, then faded, then returned again, like someone circling without committing. She stood by the table, jaw set, eyes dry now in a way that scared her more than tears. They'll come, she said. He answered, I know. Not like before. I know. They won't scare me this time. They'll try something else. She looked at him. They'll use words. They already did. They'll use paper. That's their favorite. Silence sat between them, thick but steady. She said, almost to herself, she said I was meant to disappear. He said, you didn't. Not for lack of trying. You're still here. Barely. That's enough. She shook her head. It's not. He waited. She paced once, then stopped. They won't touch me because that makes noise. Yes. They won't chase me because that looks bad. Yes. They'll just stand there. Own the ground. Own the time. They already do. Unless I change the rules. He raised an eyebrow. How? She laughed, short and sharp. I don't know yet. You're thinking. I'm tired of not. Another engine passed on the road, fast this time, not stopping. Her shoulders stayed squared. You should leave, she said again, but weaker. I won't. They'll come for you. They already have. You could still walk away. I won't. She studied his face. Why? Because if I do, they win twice. Once with her. And once with you. She swallowed. You don't owe me. I owe myself. The house creaked as if agreeing. She moved closer without noticing. He didn't step back. The space between them felt charged, not tender, not romantic, just necessary. "If you stay," she said, "they'll assume things." "Let them. They'll think I'm protected." "You are." "By what?" "By being seen." She nodded slowly. "They don't like that." "No, they prefer widows." "And ghosts." She met his eyes. "I'm done being either." A knock sounded again, harder this time, from somewhere that wasn't the door. She froze. He listened. Nothing followed. He said, "That one was memory." She let out a breath. "It's loud lately." "Because you're awake." She looked at the badge still lying on the table. "That thing ruined everything. It doesn't get to decide the end. It decides a lot." He reached out, then stopped himself, hand hovering. "May I?" She nodded. He picked up the badge, turned it over, set it face down. "There," he said. "It doesn't get to watch." She surprised herself by smiling. It didn't last long, but it was real. Outside, the road stayed empty. "For now," she said, "they'll spread stories. They already have. They'll say I'm unstable. They say that about anyone who remembers. They'll say you're using me. They say worse about men who don't belong." She looked at him. "You don't belong. Not to them. To this place. Maybe. To me." The word hung there, uninvited. He didn't move. "You don't have to answer that," she said quickly. "I'm not asking." He said, "I'm here." She nodded. "Then listen. I am. If they come again today." "They will." "I won't hide." "Good." "I won't explain." "Better." "And I won't stand alone." He met her gaze. "You won't." Outside, far off, another engine turned onto the road leading up to the ranch. Slower this time. Deliberate. She squared her shoulders. He stood beside her, close enough to be seen, not close enough to claim. Yet. The engine stopped at the gate, but no one got out. The pause felt deliberate, like a test. She didn't move toward the window this time. She stayed where she was, shoulders square, feet planted. "They want me to flinch," she said. He answered, "Don't." "I won't." The engine cut. Silence followed. Then another car passed on the road without turning in. The moments slipped by without breaking anything. She exhaled. They'll wait. They always do. They think time is theirs. It isn't. She looked at him. You sure about that? Time belongs to whoever refuses to run. She nodded, absorbing it like a rule she'd never been taught. If they come back, she said, they won't ask. Neither will we. What does that mean? It means we stop pretending. She frowned. Pretending what? That this is temporary. The word settled. Temporary had been her shelter. She'd lived inside it for years. I don't know how to make it permanent, she said. You don't have to yet. They'll force it. Then we answer. She paced once, then stopped at the table. They'll try to take the land. They already own the paper. They'll try to move me. They'll try. They'll threaten you. They will. They'll say you're nothing. They already have. She watched him closely. And you'll stay? Yes. Why? Because if I leave now, it proves them right. She nodded, slow. They count on that. They always do. Another knock sounded, this time real, from the door. 2 sharp taps. No smile in them. He moved first. She caught his sleeve. Wait. He stopped. You don't have to open it. I know. Then don't. If I don't, they'll say we're hiding. We are hiding. Not anymore. He gently freed his sleeve. Stand where they can see you, she said. He did. She stood beside him. He opened the door. No one stood there. The porch was empty. The yard quiet. He scanned the fence line. Nothing. She laughed softly, not amused. They like knocking and leaving. Why? Because it makes you doubt your senses. Do you? Not today. He closed the door. That's new. It is. She went back to the table and picked up the badge again. Held it for a second. Then she walked to the back of the house and dropped it into a drawer. Closed it. You sure? He asked. It doesn't get air anymore. He nodded. Good. She leaned against the counter. If you stay, she said, they'll talk. They talk anyway. They'll say things about me. They already do. They'll say things about us. There is no us. She glanced at him. Yet. He met her eyes. If that's where this goes, it goes because we choose it. Not because they corner us. Exactly. She breathed easier at that. I don't want pity, she said. I don't offer it. I don't want saving. I don't save people. Then what do you do? I stand. She nodded. I can work with that. Outside, the day moved on like nothing had happened. Birds returned. The wind shifted. The ranch breathed. She said, You know they'll escalate. Yes. They'll bring paperwork. We'll read it. They'll bring witnesses. So will we. Who? He hesitated. People who stayed quiet too long. Like you. Yes. She watched his face. You ready for that? I've been ready for years. She nodded once. Then we don't wait. For what? For permission. She moved toward the door again, opened it, stepped onto the porch. He followed. They stood in plain sight, not touching, not hiding. The road stayed empty. For now. She said, if they're watching. Let them. They'll assume things. Let them. She squared her shoulders. I'm not disappearing. He stood beside her. Neither am I. They stayed on the porch longer than felt sensible. Long enough for the idea to form without either of them saying it. Long enough for the land to register that something had changed. She was the one who spoke first. They'll say you're trespassing. He said, they'll say worse. They'll say you're taking advantage. They say that when women stop apologizing. She nodded. They'll say I invited you. Did you? She didn't answer right away. I didn't stop you. That's not the same. It's close enough for them. Silence pressed in again, but this one felt different. Not fear. Calculation. She stepped back inside and leaned against the door, eyes closed. If you leave tonight, she said, they'll come back before morning. I know. If you stay, she went on, they'll decide something. They already are. They'll decide what we are. He looked at her. Do you care? She opened her eyes. I care about control. Then take it. She laughed once. You make it sound easy. It isn't. It's just simple. She pushed off the door. Simple how? He took a breath. People like them respect labels. They use them. They hide behind them. Yes. They don't cross certain ones. She frowned. You're saying if we give them a name? They hesitate. Like what? He didn't answer immediately. He watched her, measuring. Like family. The word landed heavy. She felt it in her chest before she felt it in her head. You don't mean that, she said. I mean the protection it brings. Not the promise. The promise is between us. We barely know each other. We know enough. She shook her head. That's insane. So is letting them decide your life. You'd do that. I'd stand with you. That's not the same. It is here. She paced once, hands in her hair. They'd never expect it. That's the point. They'd think it's a trick. It is. They'd hate that. He nodded. Yes. She stopped in front of him. You're talking about marriage. I am. This week. Yes. She stared at him, searching for fear, for doubt. She found neither. You don't even know my middle name, she said. You don't sleep, he replied. You clean when you're scared. You stand when you should run. You remember when they want you quiet. That's enough for me. Her throat tightened. And you, she said, you stay when you're told to go. You admit when you were wrong. You don't touch without asking. That's enough too. They stood there, the idea settling into place like it had been waiting. Outside, another car turned onto the road, far off but real. She didn't flinch this time. She squared her shoulders and looked at him. If we do this, she said, it's not love the way stories tell it. It's defiance, he said. It's shelter. It's choice. She nodded. Then we choose. The car slowed as it neared the gate. She didn't look away. Neither did he. The car passed the gate without stopping. Dust lifted and fell. The sound faded. She let out a breath that felt like it had been trapped for years. They'll hear soon, she said. By sunset, he answered. Good. She surprised herself with that word. It came out steady. We don't hide it. No, we don't explain it. No, we don't apologize. Never. She leaned against the table again, hands flat, grounding herself. If we do this, she said, it's fast. It has to be. Quiet. As quiet as possible. No church. No crowd. No one we don't trust. He nodded. That list is short. It always is. She laughed softly, then stopped. They'll think you're using me. They think that about men who don't belong. They'll think I'm desperate. They think that about women who don't disappear. They'll say it won't last. They don't get to decide that. She looked at him, really looked, like she was memorizing the lines of his face in case the world tried to take it from her. You sure? She asked again, quieter now. Yes. You don't hesitate. I waited long enough. She nodded. So did I. The rest of the day moved in small, careful steps. No rushing. No celebration. Just decisions made and held. He packed what little he had in a worn bag. She gathered papers she hadn't touched in years, names written in a hand that trembled less than it used to. They didn't talk much. They didn't need to. The house felt different already, like it was listening in a new way. When the sun dipped low, a knock came again, sharp and real. He answered this one without waiting. A man stood there, hat in hand, eyes sliding past them. Heard some talk, the man said. You always do, she replied. The man looked at him. You staying? Yes. Long yes. The man nodded slowly. People won't like that. People rarely do. The man hesitated, then said, Sheriff won't either. She stepped forward. He doesn't get a vote. The man studied her, then looked at the two of them together. Something like understanding flickered across his face. I see, he said. You should, she answered. He left without another word. Night came again, but it felt different this time. Not softer. Just clearer. They sat at the table, the lamp casting a small circle of light that held. She said, We do it tomorrow. He said, Tomorrow. Before they bring paper. Before they bring men. Before they bring stories. Yes. She reached out, stopped, then placed her hand on his forearm. It felt steady. Real. This doesn't fix everything, she said. No, he agreed. But it changes the ground. She nodded. Outside, the ranch settled into darkness. Inside, for the first time in years, she didn't clean. She slept. They married at first light. Not in a church. Not in town. A man who fixed fences and kept his mouth shut stood with them by the back pasture where the grass grew thin and stubborn. No rings. No speeches. Just names spoken once, clearly, like staking a claim. When it was done, nothing looked different. That mattered. By noon the sheriff knew. Word moved faster than trucks in places like this. By afternoon, paper arrived. Notices. Claims. Old signatures dragged out like bones. She didn't touch them. He read every line. They're circling, she said. They always do before they strike, he answered. They went to the well before sunset. The old one. The one nobody used anymore. The one people crossed themselves around without knowing why. Wind moved through the dry grass. No birds. Just the sound of rope against wood as he pulled the cover free. She stood at the edge, looking down into dark that didn't reflect back. This is where they said it happened, she said. They lied, he said. Yes. She took a breath. They pushed her. Silence swallowed the words after she spoke them. She didn't fall, she went on. She fought. She screamed. I heard it from the house. Her hands shook. He didn't touch her. They said she slipped, he said. They said that to everyone. And you knew. I knew. And you said nothing. I was ordered. By him. Yes. She nodded. Say it again. He ordered me to stay quiet. Say it louder. He did. The wind carried it. 2 men appeared at the fence line. Then another. No uniforms. No shouting. Just watching. They hear, she said. Good, he replied. She knelt and tied the rope to a rusted bucket. What are you doing? He asked. Proving it. She lowered it. The sound echoed too long. When she pulled it back up, the bucket came with more than water. Fabric. Torn. Old. She held it up. This was hers. The men shifted. One stepped forward. That's enough, he said. No, she answered. It isn't. She looked at her husband. Tell them. He did. Names. Dates. Orders. Who signed what? Who looked away? The well held the truth like it always had. The men backed off one by one. No fight. No arrest. Just retreat. Power doesn't like light. They sealed the well before dark. Concrete poured. Silence set. Morning came quiet. Not empty. She swept the porch once, slow, deliberate. He watched from the doorway. You don't have to, he said. She leaned the broom against the wall. I know. She stepped into the sun. They stood there together. The house remembered. The land remembered. But it no longer ruled. The ranch was quiet the next morning, but it wasn't empty. The quiet had weight now, not threat. She stepped outside with the broom out of habit more than need. The porch boards were clean. The yard held its breath. She swept anyway, slow, each stroke measured. He stood a few steps back, not hovering, just there. You don't have to, he said. I know, she replied. I want to. Why? She paused. Because I choose when to stop. A truck rolled past on the road and didn't turn in. Another followed later and did the same. She kept sweeping. They'll talk, he said. They already are. They'll say you trapped me. She looked at him. Did you? No good. She pushed the dust toward the edge and let it fall away. They'll say I married for protection. Did you? Yes. He nodded. Me too. She smiled, small but real. They hate simple truths. They can't bend them. He moved closer, still not touching. You sleep last night. I did. All night. All of it. He exhaled. Good. She leaned the broom against the wall. It stayed there, upright and used. She looked at it like it was a witness that had finally been dismissed. I won't clean through fear anymore, she said. I'll clean when I want. And when you don't. I won't. He smiled at that. A neighbor stopped at the fence, hat in hand. Morning, the man said. Morning, she answered. The man glanced at him, then back to her. Heard about the well. You heard right. The man nodded. Things y'all change. They already are. The man hesitated. You need anything? She shook her head. We're fine. The man left. No whispers followed. She stepped into the yard and felt the sun on her face. It's strange, she said. What? Being seen and still standing. You were always standing. Not like this. He came to her side. This time, she took his hand first. We didn't fix everything, she said. No, he agreed. But we fixed enough. She looked out across the land that had tried to erase her and failed. The house behind them settled, old wood learning a new truth. The broom stayed against the wall. They walked forward together, not hurrying, not hiding.